Hello.
Who's there?
It's me.
Hi. I'm Kevin.
I'm Gerrit.
Oh. I knew that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm going insane.
Me too. You're wearing sunglasses inside.
Do you know why?
Why?
I don't know. Here's the thing about the world.
Hold on. Before you get to that, I thought this would be super fun. Can you hear this? Can you hear it?
No.
No? Damn it.
What was it?
It's the intro music.
Damn.
I was going to try and play it in here, but I don't know if I can.
I don't know why it wouldn't be able to work. Can we test out my microphone before we continue? Because it was blurry and blushy last time. I keep fiddling with it. I'm so paranoid that it sounds either too far away or too close.
I think breathing into it affects it, but it's pretty. It sounds loud on mine.
Okie dokie.
Let me
I'll breathe out the side of my mouth like that guy who did that song about chocolate rain. I move away from the mic to breathe. Ha. That's a reference for all you old fucks out there.
Oh, geez, old fucks. I feel like we're all old fucks. I don't know if I feel like I should be able to bring something into this, right? Like I feel I have a shirt on.
Just record this and release it on our Patreon.
I will, once we get one. That sucks. I was hoping I could do it. Well, I can't. But anyway, I was going to play the theme.
I'll play the theme. Ready? Ding 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 ding.
Perfect. It's not this at all. Hello. Kerrit Podcast. Good song.
Yeah, this sounds like something carrots could grow to.
Crunch into us.
What's up, Doc? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Fuck them.
Crunch.
Hello.
Hi.
Good song.
This sounds like
this
something
is like
carrots
something-
could grow to.
Crunched into us.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What's up, Doc? All right.
Fuck.
Well, that was fun. This is so crazy. How are you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm just
The world.
like, I guess my thing is like I'm just everything is as fine as it can be right now. Let's be honest. In regards to the fact that the pandemic is happening and we're sequestered at home, everything seems to be fine. I'm drinking a beer. I have a new Glarus here, and I'll probably get another one here in about 3 minutes or so. Just preparing you for my. We can put an ad there, or you can talk mindlessly, or I can talk mindlessly from a previous episode if you put that audio in there. If you edit it in there,
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yes. You know, I do like crossing bridges. They're very scary. They could fall at any moment, and that is scary.
Isn't it weird to think that the bridge can like break, but it's still there, but you fall through it?
You're technically on the bridge as it's falling, depending on how it breaks. I know, right?
Yeah.
Inception mindfuck coming. Hello. Inception Part 2. You're on the bridge as it collapses. So it's still a bridge, kind of. So you think you'd be safe. It's a very long subtitle.
That's the title of the episode.
That's a long. And then it's like Final Destination 5, Inception Part 2, No, that's too many colons. Hyphen.
Dash, yeah.
Yeah, they used a hyphen in Ghost Protocol, which is a good movie.
I like hyphens. They use it in Fallout as well. I don't know if they use it in
They do.
or in Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
We'll have to do something serious.
I do care. In fact, let's talk about that right now. And I'm going to ask you this, having done no research, if you're a major production company, such as Paramount Pictures, that produces the Mission Impossible movies, what directs you to use a colon versus a hyphen versus, I would imagine, in the poster, I don't think there's even a hyphen. I think it just says Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. And it's only on like IMDb, like the official title where the hyphen is present. Yeah, do you have it? I have it. I could check it out.
I looked. Well, I know it's not a colon because every movie is Mission Impossible.
That's true. That is true.
It is. Boop, 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 boop. So I thought that this is episode 50.
Perfect. Hey, it's our 50th anniversary.
It is. I don't think that's how it works.
Are you sure? I feel 50.
We all do. But I'll put this video up on YouTube. So this will be the first YouTube video of ours.
Great. There's going to be absolutely nothing to offer in way of interesting video, but it doesn't matter.
I disagree. You're wearing sunglasses. There's a purse in the background, and you're shirtless.
I stole that. Don't tell anybody. This was because I socially distance. This was pre us having to social distance. I am a very thoughtful crime operator.
Good. Smooth operator.
Yes. Alien Ant Farm sang that song originally.
Nope.
Yes. I don't know what you're talking about. I've spent my days going through old, early 2000s videos.
So do they have a song called Smooth Operator, or is it a song called Smooth Criminal, which is a cover of a Michael Jackson song?
Please edit everything out.
No, not
that I just said. I sound like an ass, a total ass.
Nah, you sound very educated.
So, yeah, it makes you wonder, though. I mean, okay, I just want to end this discussion because there's really not much to say about the subject of hyphens versus colons. But it really, it makes me kind of wonder who's making those decisions. I mean, these are fucking $200 million movies. And, I know it's not a big deal, but when I'm writing a work email, I'm thinking about the structure of the paragraphs and the flow and, the punctuation. And obviously the marketing team is thinking similarly and arguably in even more in-depth terms because it's a fucking $200 million movie. So what are they doing? And what is it about what's appealing to audiences? Because it doesn't fucking matter at all. What is it?
What do you like more? Do you like hyphens or colons more?
I kind of like.
Are you a dick? Are you a dick man or an ass man?
A balls man. Oh,
it's colon.
Wait, which one was colon for you? An asshole. Ass. I get it. See, because if it's a colon, I thought they were testicles.
But if it's a hyphen, it's a dick.
I see.
Wow.
I see. I guess I would.
I have to explain everything. I'm a hyphen as well.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to go with that. I guess, in some ways, it's funny that it's Mission Impossible, which is obviously a carryover from the series.
Yeah.
And it's almost...
What were they thinking in the 60s?
I love how, I get it. They're saying, the mission is impossible.
Yes.
And I get that.
Because the colon means is, right?
I don't know. I kind of always thought of it as time we meet, ... colon, 7:00. Or
the time we meet is 7:00.
I can see that. I mean, I can see what you're saying.
Hyphen, I feel like it's like dramatic tension kind of. It's like this mission is so impossible. It's Ghost Protocol.
See, I think the hyphen has been introduced because they would have traditionally put a colon there, but since they happen to be the only franchise in history that has a colon from the very first movie, they're like, well, what the fuck? Because we can't call this Mission Impossible 5 because that's awful. So we're going to call it Mission Impossible Rogue
that's
Nation.
4. Yeah, 5 is Rogue Nation.
So then they're just like, well, shit. We can't just have Mission Impossible Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, because that would be like, what's an impossible rogue nation? That's my mission? I don't get what that means.
It sounds like that's the only thing possible about this.
Indeed. So they're like, they could have done a comma, but you can't put a fucking comma on a fucking poster.
Well, you know what you'll never see in a poster? A semicolon. Because there are commas. There's "Oh brother, where art thou?"
That's true.
There's a question mark there too.
There is. Well, question marks aren't as what's the word I'm looking for here? Unnatural?
Uncommon? Yeah.
Uncommon? Yeah, they're not as uncommon. Who Am I? Jackie Chan's Who Am I?
Oh, yeah.
That was a good movie.
How about when a movie has like an actor's name or the director's name is a part of it, like John Carpenter's The Thing? That's always fun. Jet Li's The One.
What was the Butler's guy's name? Lee something.
Oh, Lee
Daniels. Lee Daniels is the
Lee
butler.
Daniels the butler. I'm like,
because
who is Lee Daniels?
I know. Because there was a goddamn Butler silent movie made in the 20s. I love the pettiness, I gotta say. I think it's ridiculous. Copyright should not work like that. No. But, hey, man, if you want to be like that. In fact, I don't support that. I go against everything I just said. That's dumb. Fucking assholes. Who gives a shit? God.
I can't get over how you have shades on.
Yeah. Listen to me. Can I show you something?
For the people listening to this, Kevin has shades on, everybody. And for the people watching, you're seeing it.
Yes. Now, look at this when I go out in public. This is what I like to look like.
Oh, you made one. Nice. Good for you.
And then I actually like to put the hat on, too, so it looks actually more like this.
I mean, you might as well just rob a bank.
I like it. Beard is always...
Rob a bank with an American flag on your hat.
Oh, my God. I'd love it, because no one would suspect me then.
Mm-hmm. Because the flag means that you love this country, everybody.
No, the flag means I'm a hick.
Yeah. How sad is that? Oh, okay.
I know. It's crazy. There's so much to talk about, I just realized. Mm-hmm. But I actually have always liked having a beard because it hides my face, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, like, I'm ashamed of my face. Nothing like that. And I'm not, like, what's the word? Introverted, as we said on another earlier episode. It's more so just like, in certain situations, it's nice to not have someone see my like facial movements. Cause I'm usually like, this guy's a fucking idiot, And recently though, it's been great having sunglasses, hat, and I feel like I'm in the Old West, but minus, carrying things.
It's just like a dust bowl or something that we're all living through.
Totally. Totes my goats.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I've had the beard for a while and I haven't trimmed it at all, so it's just growing.
I just trimmed mine, just on the cheeks. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep this because I have nothing better to do than to cultivate, and so that's where I'm at. And my hair is really long too because I don't have a barber.
Mine's gonna get to that point.
Yeah, honestly, I'm waiting for when Trump is reelected. And I'll move into the woods, and you can come move into the woods with me.
Would love to.
Be those people. We'll be a bunch of Kurt Russells in the thing, and we'll just be like, pouring whiskey into computers and just being like, cheating bitch, like just mad at everything.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, I guess I feel again we should end this discussion about punctuation in movies. I think my final thought on this is that for sure the hyphen is not used normally, and it was only used in this situation because you can't really use anything else once the colon has been taken. Once you use that in that play from the playbook, you're fucking Hail Marying it with a fucking hyphen at that point.
That's true. So
there's nothing else.
I'm just trying to think of what other movies have hyphens.
How about this? I'll throw this out there. The Twilight Saga. Do you remember that whole fiasco?
Because those colons?
That's the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn, Part 2. Right? Isn't that how it goes? Isn't it Twilight Saga,
Breaking Dawn, hyphen Part 2. Yeah.
Yes.
It's because they've already used, like, all of them, they've already used the colons. So.
They fucked themselves by using the Twilight Saga as part of the official naming process. Why the fuck? Who's seeing these movies, Gerrit? Tell me.
People who already are familiar with the property. So
ding, 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 ding.
There's no
and
point
thus,
in doing making it Twilight. Like it's like another good example, Sicario, and then the sequel Sicario:
Day of the Soldado.
No reason.
Let's get back to that. First of all, in fact, let's just solve that right now. That was originally called Soldado.
Yeah,
that was the original title.
Yeah,
and the same thing that I'm about to say can be applied to both the Twilight Saga and Sicario: Day of the Soldado, and that is that at the time these sequels were being released, the video store model was already on its way out.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't need to alphabetize these things visually. Yep. So who gives a shit? You know, if I'm in the video store, I'm not looking for Twilight and then Twilight 2. I'm looking for Twilight New Moon because I am aware of what they are. I'm the only person who gives a shit about them. And
by the way, everything digital now, it can be alphabetized, but it doesn't show up that way. If you're going through Netflix, you're like, oh, we got Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And it's also now called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's unnecessary.
So dumb.
But you won't see them next to each other regardless. So what the Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, they're all spread out when you're searching. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter.
I think it's treating the audience kind of like they're holding their hand. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, if I'm watching Sicario: Day of the Soldado and it's called Soldado, I just have a feeling that the box office returns are going to be pretty similar regardless. I gotta say, I just think it's such a negligible difference. And it's in this case specifically, I get what they're doing. They're trying to attach a brand to it, even though who gives a fucking shit about the original Sicario? Good movie. I liked it. But who's trying to be like, hey, Gerrit, hey, we're going to make some money. We're going to make Sicario 2. But here's the thing. We're going to put it as Sicario: Day of the Soldado because we're going to get all the fans of Sicario 1.
All the money. Oh, I want to kiss
all 45 million gross from the first one.
We won't double it. It is baffling to me. And the thing too is you have to look at it from the fact if they want everybody's money. So what easier way than to dumb it down for everybody? Because some people really do need it dumbed down. And case in point, Lansing, Michigan yesterday.
Well, I have been waiting to talk about this with you.
Because I'm still here. And
I'm not.
I'm watching Phoenix.
I have to say, and I feel we've concluded our punctuation situation for now. I think. Although it makes you wonder, is there a colon used when you do part 2? Like John Wick is chapter 2. Is there a colon after John Wick? Or is it John Wick dash chapter 2?
I think it's a colon.
That's so weird.
I've been going through the This Better Be Good episodes and making sure that all the titles are correct. So I go to IMDb to do that. And I'm pretty sure, I have to go check a lot of the times. There's a colon. So it's John Wick colon chapter 2, John Wick colon chapter 3, hyphen Parabellum. I think this whole hyphen phenomenon started, I would have to say, with what came out first? I think Twilight Saga, because they decided to be so unnecessarily convoluted. Yeah.
And then Mission Impossible wanted to do a soft reboot after number 3 by giving it its own subtitle and kind of differentiating it from the original trilogy.
Yep.
And so they're like, hey, let's hop on that Twilight train.
That one's interesting because Mission Impossible 2 is like the number 2, and then Mission Impossible 3 is the Roman numeral 3.
No, I think the second one is Roman numerals still.
Is it? MI2?
I believe so. It goes like this. I thought so. No, I think on the cover it's MI2, TU2.
And then on IMDb it's the Roman numeral 2.
I don't understand the difference between Roman numerals and just regular numbers.
It looks cooler, I guess.
Does it?
I don't know. It doesn't.
I mean, the fact that a sequel...
once you get past a certain number, I don't even know what it is anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's a sequel, it's automatically going to be bad anyway. So, I feel like they're trying to stylize the title to get the people in the seats, even though the movie... I love... Insidious Chapter 2.
Yeah.
It's fucking Insidious. Like, are we really gonna do this about this? Like, come on. And yet, like, it's so funny to me how seemingly central the vision is for the naming process, for it to be successful in the eyes of the creators or the producers or whatever. It's not just Insidious, it's Insidious Chapter 2. And yet Saw gets away with Saw 2 somehow. Well, Saw looks at its shitty title and is like, LOL, we're just going to keep it one syllable all the time. Saw 2, Saw 3.
So I have a joke that I've wanted to do for a long time about naming sequels. And it's just so interesting that we're bringing all this up because it is incredibly interesting to me. And I think there's so much humor in it because there's so many different ways to do a sequel. Like you can also do it where it doesn't have to be like James Bond, Dr. No. You can just call it Dr. No. Right. And then the next one is a sequel.
From Russia with Love.
So the idea of the joke is me going through literally every single movie in the James Bond franchise. And then I'd be like, and then you could also do like a Friday the 13th where they would do, a part 2, part 3, part 4, the final chapter. Now we got a subtitle. And then just the joke for me is getting every single title out there for no apparent reason. Just like taking up so much time. And I go, and then at the end be like, I think I would go with, just a Roman numeral.
just call it a day.
Yeah.
We are standardizing sequel titles like a test. We can no longer go outside the realm. We're just doing Roman numerals now.
What would you do?
I mean, I think it's an interesting topic. I don't think there's any wrong way to do it except for the way Twilight did it, which is dumb.
And
the Twilight Saga. I mean, Sicario, I can kind of understand. I mean, I really get that more than literally saying the Twilight Saga. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's like Star Wars. I mean, the first one was just Star Wars. And then when Empire came out, they rebranded it as A New Hope.
Right.
And then Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And then they introduced episodes. So it's like episode 1, The Phantom Menace, episode 2. And you're like, fuck, dude. Why?
I know. And not only that, but then Force Awakens comes out, and it's officially Star Wars Episode 7, but they marketed it as Star Wars The Force Awakens. No episode title.
Let me check and see if those are hyphens or colons.
I mean, you can, but like on the poster itself, there's no punctuation. And in the movie, it's like episodes, so...
It's colon hyphen. Star Wars, this is Episode 4, hyphen, A New Hope.
How about Rogue One, A Star Wars Story?
Ooh.
What was that?
Let's look that up.
I think that's a colon, but it's just like...
A Star Wars Story.
Who the fuck is seeing Rogue One and being like, what is this anyways? Oh, look, it's... I guess it's a Star Wars story.
You know what's funny, though? On the poster, you are right. There's a box around Rogue One for some reason, but there's no punctuation on the posters. And I think that's just because it looks tacky on a presented poster. But
it's like Justin Timberlake's
format. And in the movies themselves, there won't be punctuation and shit, depending on the movie,
See, for marketing purposes, they want a clean, efficient look, like dropping the from Facebook. But in the movie, they're like, we got to appeal to those nerds. Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
What's another one I just thought of? God damn it, I can't remember.
Back to the Future, Part 2. Part 3.
Yeah, every part of the one, though, I don't think there's a colon, though. So let's check Friday the 13th.
I feel like the Friday the 13th had like a fucking comma or something.
No colons, nothing. Just
okay.
I'm sorry. Friday the 13th, Part 2, all one. Friday the 13th, Part 3, all one. Friday the 13th, colon, the final chapter. Friday the 13th, colon, a new beginning. And then Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. There's a colon.
And this, though.
6 and Jason Lives. 7, colon, the new blood. 8, I'm assuming, is colon, Jason Takes Manhattan.
But you're looking at IMDb, right?
Yes.
So
am I looking at posters?
See, my thought is these IMDb was obviously not around at that time. So when these first came out, the posters, I'm assuming, didn't have a colon, and I would also assume that the opening credits did not have a colon. So I'm wondering.
I don't think they do. Well, I mean, I'm looking at Jason Lives right now, and there's no colon in the poster itself. So you'd have to look at the movie and see if there's a colon. You know for a fact there's not a colon. It's just in these print forms. So then it makes me wonder if they're getting these from like the original screenplays, like the scripts in the script.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. I mean, supposing all of this is true and there are no colons in the original marketing material or film itself, then who the fuck is going around on IMDb lackadaisically throwing out colons like LOL, like I'm the administrator, I can do whatever.
How about this one? This is what I wanted to say earlier. So there is a wonderful movie that I'm sure many people have seen, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh, ...
Now, on IMDb and in the movie and on the poster, it's different. There's differing ones. So on IMDb, the official entry is Once Upon a Time, ellipses, in Hollywood. On the poster, it is doop, 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 load it, please. Oh, God damn it. Of course. This was the perfect dramatic tension, and it's not loading the goddamn poster.
Oh, just erase this part, and we can...
Can we swear on here?
What?
On the poster, it says, Once Upon a Time in ellipses Hollywood. So in the IMDb entry, it's Once Upon a Time, ellipses in Hollywood. And then on the poster, it's Once Upon a Time in ellipses Hollywood.
Weird.
So they put the ellipses in a different place. And I know for a fact in the movie, it's probably the same as what the poster is. So you have the point I'm making right now is you have the actual groundwork. You have it right there.
Yeah.
And some official is like, nah, this is what they meant to do. It's like a preacher being like, nah, God, this is what God meant to say.
See, that makes me wonder about Tarantino. He's like notorious for having a vision.
Yeah.
And he probably has a specific idea of where he wants that ellipses. Mm-hmm. And it's weird to me to see like a movie like that. Like that's a great representation of what I'm talking about because it's like a big budget movie that was nominated for Oscars, won a couple, big stars, big director. And we have this very small punctuation issue. It's a typo. It's a fucking typo of this movie. And it's on either the poster or it's on the most official database that has been propagated to the masses, you know? And it's so strange to me.
Then you have the Hateful Eight, which you could have done so many things with, and it's just the Hateful Eight. It's all spelled out. I know a fact I saw it as the Hateful number 8. I saw it as like the hate, and then the A was the 8. The AT was the 8. Seen it so many different ways, and this one is specifically exactly how it is on the poster.
Dude,
so it's
this is so far down the rabbit hole because
people have jobs and they're not. It's not consistent. I want some consistency, you guys.
I know it's weird. It's almost like maybe in the eyes of the marketing companies of these movies, and maybe specifically Tarantino, it sounds like the Weinstein Company when they still existed.
I just did this into a plant. If you're listening, you didn't see it.
That's sad. It'll grow into a little human plant. It'll be like Troll 2.
Didn't he have coronavirus?
Who, Tarantino?
No. Weinstein.
Weinstein. I thought so. I thought so.
Did he die?
I don't know. No.
Damn.
I don't want him to. I want him to be in jail. I just want some comeuppance for these dudes. You know. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, they just seem to get out after a few years, or die somehow. So yeah, not to say rot in jail, but let's see. I've never seen it happen. Let's try it. I've always wanted to. But
life in prison, and he's there for life.
Indeed, indubitably.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but I was gonna say this would lead us down a rabbit hole because we're talking about punctuation, and then all of a sudden we're talking about like F8 or F9, like Fast and Furious movies, like how those are spelled out. You know, like what is it? Fast and Furious 6 is called Fast and Furious 6 officially, and on all the marketing materials. But if you watch the movie, it's Furious 6. And I think now that we're talking about this, I think there's sort of a general understanding that is not existent in yours and mine heads, and maybe that makes us the outsiders in this situation. So maybe we were talking like a bunch of fucking fools. But maybe in Hollywood, they're just like, oh, we're all artsy. Interpret things however your brain wants to interpret them. Here are multiple different versions of the same message. LOL. Let us all go swim in millions of dollars.
I mean, I doubt that's what it is. I think it's more of just a how can we make the most money. So on an IMDb thing, the one I understand most of them, like the hyphen, and that all makes sense to me. What I don't understand is the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood one.
Okay.
I don't understand why the ellipses is in the wrong place.
But just to be
That's
clear,
just like a simple. It's so strange to me. Like no one's brought that up. And it also, I want to stress this to literally everybody. I know it's not a big deal.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
But this is refreshing to talk about instead of a goddamn virus that is killing people.
Right.
Who's calling?
Oh, hang on.
I've got a phone call. We'll go to an ad.
Let me disconnect from that.
Anchor's away.
Yeah, anchor's away. No, I had to disconnect from my work phone. This is my work computer.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
You should have taken it.
What you were talking about
Once Upon a Time and how it's not a big deal.
Oh, it's not a big deal, and you're right. First of all, it is nice to just talk about something else.
But we are gonna go back and talk about that in a second.
Oh yeah, in some ways, I mean, our culture encourages us to discuss everything to death, like every detail,
ad nauseum,
seemingly insignificant. Yeah, completely. Yeah. I guess, in some ways, we're doing ourselves and our fans a disservice because maybe we should be the people that don't do that. But at the same time, it is interesting, I think, because I like pop culture. I like movies, and I like punctuation. I mean, I like grammar. I like the way that like language exists. So it's interesting to me to see it in such a broad billion-dollar industry and misrepresent itself, or like have the message be muddled somehow.
So I will say this. I think if we did have the means to do a different podcast, like a Kerrit Presents, this is another podcast.
Yeah.
We could do like a mystery thing where we try to actually contact people who work at IMDb, who contact people who work in marketing and stuff like that, and try to actually solve what decides a hyphen or a colon. Why is there no semicolon? Because I mean, if you really think about it, that would be the thing between the words and a part two, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like you're continuing the sentence. So Friday the 13th, semicolon, part two. Why would you not use a semicolon, huh?
Yeah, I love semicolons. Cormac McCarthy hates semicolons, but whatever.
Who is that? Is that an author?
Yeah, he wrote No Country for Old Men and The Road and Blood Meridian and a bunch of others.
Why doesn't he like semicolons?
He doesn't like punctuation. I think he only uses periods from what I remember.
Dude, I use commas.
People will be talking and there's no quotations.
Hate it.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I mean, it honestly, his books flow, so I can't say it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about art and how you interpret art too.
That's true.
Like you can kind of do whatever you want with the written word in this situation. That's the art we're talking about, and you can do whatever you with it as long as it makes sense to the reader and it, inspires imagination in them or emotion or whatever.
That's true.
So
what's your thesis? Why do you think they choose certain things over others?
You mean in regards to the movie, the titles?
Yeah.
I mean, I really do think it's a case by case situation. I think for Twilight, it's pure marketing. They are trying to hammer people over the head. Hey, this is Twilight. It's the Twilight Saga, eclipse. And, yeah. What were we going to say?
What about 50 Shades of Grey? How did they do it?
They got lucky because all of their titles start with 50 Shades, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Although, and again, the video stores are gone, so it doesn't have to be exact alphabetical order. It's not like 50 Shades Darker would go before 50 Shades of Grey, even though that's the sequel. It doesn't matter. Although, I will say this. This is kind of an old conversation to be having. When I did go to video stores when I was a kid, there were some video stores that would have like Raiders of the Lost Ark in front of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, because they go in chronological.
Right. And then there are some that really would have them completely alphabetized. So I think in some ways it all depends on the manager of the store in that situation.
Yeah, I remember like if you went to a Blockbuster or a Family Video, they would have them in next to each other because it would be like, this is the James Bond section.
Exactly.
These are the James Bond movies.
Yep,
so, and
totally.
those would be in whatever the fuck order.
Yeah. As far as I remember. I mean, I don't remember the order of those. But I do remember there being a James Bond section.
Yeah,
and
because you generally, Jesus Christ, generally you want to put the newer ones in people's eyesight, and most people are, yay tall, so they'd be at the top.
Right.
So like the Golden Eye, The World Is Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies. At the time, that's what would probably be on the top.
Yeah, for sure.
Or the most famous ones, right? Like Goldfinger, The Spy Who Loved Me, stuff like that.
Throw On Her Majesty's Secret Service on the bottom shelf.
Yes.
That's probably how I never saw that one.
Which it should have been fucking top, at least second row.
Yeah, it's good.
I love
Yeah,
that.
so
we've never had a Bond episode. We got to do that when we can get back together.
yeah, we should. I've been actually watching them like crazy over here because I have nothing better to do, and they're super entertaining.
They are. They really are.
So yeah, I actually started on Her Majesty's Secret Service recently, and I never got the chance to finish it. Although I say never, it was like 2 days ago. So I'm looking forward to finishing that soon.
You'll have plenty of time to finish.
Yeah, anytime. Maybe after this. Actually, not after this. I have to go pick up groceries.
Really quick, do you want to find some COVID numbers from Minnesota? Because I have the ones pulled up from the last episode that we did.
I'll check it out.
So
I have it saved on my phone.
In your county, and then confirmed nationwide. So that's cases and deaths.
Cases and deaths.
Yeah,
so you want to make sure that we are comparing information and making sure that they're like accurate. It's like
literally a week ago when we recorded this.
All right, let's see.
So yeah,
that's right. That's right. You're right. Yeah. I remember. I know you're Wednesday.
You might have to. You might have to back up from the computer because it's getting like wonky. I'll cut this. Yeah, it's like it's like it's a signal bouncing off of itself. When you listen to the episode, you'll hear it.
I'm sure I will. All righty. So I'm checking right now. Here we go. A little bit further. There we go. There it is.
Man, semicolons and colons.
I know, fascinating.
I like the look of a semicolon.
Yeah, I like the flow of a semicolon, and then all of a sudden there's like a. And then you think about how Spain has like upside down question marks to establish a question. Like that's awesome, dude. Love it.
I think it's fun. Language is very fascinating.
It is. It's it really is.
Did you find those numbers?
Yeah. So for Hennepin County,
hold on,
which is
really quick. I'll go through last week because I have those pulled up.
Oh, go ahead.
And then you'll say yours. Okay. So in Minnesota, in your county, there were 344 confirmed and then 18 deaths in your county.
Wow.
Nationwide, there were 432,973 confirmed, 14,740 deaths nationwide.
My goodness.
Here we go. Well, it's been a week, everybody.
We're all going to die. The infection in Hennepin County specifically is 651 confirmed cases with 46 deaths.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then nationwide, I have 672,845 confirmed cases with 30,323 deaths.
So we doubled.
I guess I don't know if we got
we doubled in a week.
Well, I was just going to say in Minnesota we have 1,809 cases overall with 87 deaths overall. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's very exciting.
Well, Michigan will have more.
Yeah, I've definitely
because of what happened yesterday. So.
Why don't you explain to us what happened yesterday?
So if you are unaware, probably the only people listening to this are from Michigan. So in Lansing, Michigan, yesterday, a bunch of Trump supporters, neo-Nazis, etc., went to the state capitol in Lansing and called it Operation Gridlock, and they blocked up traffic around the capitol and also protested. So they held their guns, they had flags, they spray painted their fucking trucks and boats. and put spelling errors everywhere. And it was to protest the, the lockdown, the quarantine that's going on right now. So
that's pretty funny. That's really very funny. It's not funny. I mean, it's national news. It was on the front page of Reddit, which was interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I've seen several interviews with people over there, and I heard, and they're all hilarious, I gotta say.
It's the dumbest fucking people.
So funny. I mean, it is satirical. If it'd be funny if it weren't so sad, I guess.
I mean, it's just idiocracy. I mean, these people have children, and they are fucking the dumbest people on the planet.
Like, I saw an interview with a guy who was 62 and had quadruple bypass surgery, and he was talking about how he was calling other people elderly, and he's like, well, I'm 62, but there's elderly people. Like, he's separating himself from the group the demographic group that he is in. And he was like, I'm like, you got to realize the situation you're in. You seem to not understand that is you.
Kev, but how can they understand that they're that person when they don't have facts? They have alternative facts. And those are
I also thought it was funny. The governor definitely touched on this. That woman in Michigan, she said, which I feel like, just to be clear, I'm totally joking.
You mean Governor Hitler?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's so funny to be calling someone Hitler when you have a fucking Nazi flag. Like, what?
Not to mention, I know.
I mean, the irony is fucking palpable.
It's astounding. But, oh my God. She called it a rally. She said it was less of a protest and more of a political rally. And if you see the pictures, it's literally like Trump flags and like Confederate flags and shit. And I'm just like, it's so fucking funny to be and I was telling Heather this yesterday when all this news was coming out. I was like, how is it that somehow the only people that are protesting the stay-at-home order happen, like, it's a Venn diagram, and it happens to just be Trump supporters that are protesting also. Like, it's because something in their brain is wired in a certain way, I guess.
It's stupidity. It's willful ignorance.
That's amazing.
What it is.
It's amazing.
And the thing that they don't understand is it's that, I mean, I've read it 1,000 times where it's like, it's not that bad. It's like, yeah, because of social distancing. But what about this place? They don't have any. Yeah, because either they didn't get tests, or also there's 4 people in that fucking county? Like, of course. It's so fucking depressing and hilarious when you really think about it. The irony, I can't get over the irony of calling someone Hitler when you have a Nazi fucking propaganda. You're just like, so was he a bad guy or not? What are you trying to say?
I have to say, overall, though, I think that, I mean, I don't think it's going to do anything. Like, I think all they did was make fools of themselves and possibly spread the disease amongst themselves. And I think
they'll spread it with anyone that they come into contact with.
Yeah, and I get that too. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't care if they die because they're dumb. I care if other people that they come into contact with die. That's
true, but I mean, like, long term, looking at the effects of, like, the positive and negative effects of it, like, I don't think there's going to be a movement against a stay-at-home order because the only people that support that are morons.
Yep.
So, like, it doesn't.
Well, do you think? I mean, I think what it did was probably extend the stay-at-home order itself.
I mean, that might happen. I honestly don't think that enough people showed up for that to make a difference.
It was in the thousands.
But what I mean is, like, I don't think Governor Whitmer would look at that and be like, well, now we're going to have to extend it because of these people. I think she might say that because it's a witty thing to say, and it's technically scientifically accurate, I would imagine. But I also think that if there was a need to extend the stay-at-home order, it would happen anyways.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So
it's true. Well, I know that for a fact. I mean, I knew already that it was going to be extended. I know for a fact that's just going to keep happening. But the idea that they protested it, thought they did a great job, and then it turns out it's getting extended. I know. It warms my heart where it's like, you are so dumb. And these are the same people too that, like, every time, like, Trump's getting protested, they're just like, don't you guys have jobs? It's like, it's so funny. Like, you can take a day off, you cunt.
Yeah.
It's just, It's all these, like, I don't have a lot of, ways to get thoughts out. So it's all this just in my head all the time.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
It's not. And hey, you should get out and protest, Gerrit. Maybe that'll help you get the thoughts out.
Let's protest the protesters.
I love how there counter protesters?
No, they're smart. I don't think there were.
I don't think there were either.
Yeah, you know who the counter protesters were? The people dying in ambulances that fucking got blocked from the hospital for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the people that were fucking counter protesting.
Oh, dude.
They blocked up traffic, ran red lights. And it's like, our cops, I know. Whatever.
I saw that video of them running so many red lights. I was like, oh my goodness.
I know where that is in Lansing. So you can't do like fake crisis bullshit. It's fake. It's not true. It didn't happen.
See,
I know where that is.
It's interesting to me because they are running those red lights because of, I guess, groupthink. Is that the right psychological term to apply here? But I think beyond that, what they think they're doing is standing up for their rights. And I kind of can...
That's what they think.
Yeah, and I it's hard to sort of, how do I put this, correlate those two ideas. I mean, sometimes if you believe you are right, and you have to stand up for your rights, it's true you have to break laws. You know what I mean? Like the throwing the tea overboard is an easy example.
Yeah.
But it's also like, bro, it's 2020. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. I guess that's kind of where I lose the thought, and I'm not sure how.
I think, first of all, the whole thing that should be taken away from this, because once again, I say this all the time with you, everybody I meet, life is not black and white. Life is filled with gray issues.
Sure.
So the blanket statement you can say is, if you go do that because you are so incensed, is that a word that works here, with your own liberty and freedom, you are being selfish, and it's basically attempted murder. Like, you're going into that with, oh, for sure, I don't fucking care about these other people because my rights are being infringed. Well, all of ours are, because we're having to make sacrifices. And you doing this is showing that you cannot come together with other people. We are all suffering right now. So you are being selfish. That's the blanket statement. Mm-hmm. Another one is, they're the same group of people that think other protests are bullshit because it's not their values. Meanwhile, they're willing to bring their fucking AR-15s, like literally on the Capitol steps. Oh, this isn't a peaceful protest, you cunt. You have a gun. Well, I got it legally. Well, you can shoot it illegally, you fucking pieces of shit. It's so selfish. That's my big takeaway. Yeah,
it's I mean, my big takeaway is everything that I wanted to move away from is still there. Like when I was a valet and I was parking cars, and I'm not trying to kind of lump these two groups together. I have no scientific data that suggests that this is true.
Might as well.
But whenever I parked a car and there was like Christian music playing or like Rush Limbaugh on the radio, I'm just like, Jesus, this is like 80% of the cars I'm parking at this hospital. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And, just the way that just traditionally my family holds gatherings and parties, and I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but like there's a certain, you realize that what you are experiencing growing up is not what everyone's experiencing, But
then you see it all around you and you're like, wow, I guess it is all the same.
And so it's just like, I'm not saying Minnesota's a ton better, but it seems to be at least marginally more. I mean, I don't really see any Confederate flags, for example. I'm not saying people aren't racist here. We're still, but like fucking who the fuck is driving a goddamn round with a motherfucking Confederate fucking flag in Michigan? You're right next to Canada. For God's sake.
How about the blow-up doll that was dressed up like Whitmer with like a Nazi?
I saw that, man. I saw people like spray paint their trucks too.
I know,
right? Why are you ruining your truck?
Because for liberty, man, these colors don't run.
Oh man,
it's fucking so. It's so baffling to me that they don't think. They have no original thought.
And they're protesting like, we want our stores open because we're losing money. And I'm like, man, do you understand? If stores were open today, no one would go. I mean, like some people would, but like the majority, like the vast majority of customers aren't comfortable doing that.
Because of you. Like, yeah, I'm not going to go to your fucking sporting goods store.
What am I going to fucking do there? Like, get Corona? I'm not planning on throwing a ball around with anybody anytime soon.
Yeah. What'd you buy today? Oh, just a tennis racket and COVID-19.
Jeez. On sale for COVID-18.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Like, the moment that this opens up, I think I don't want to go out.
I mean, obviously you can't. No. I mean, what's going to happen is people like you and me and others that are out there are not going to go, and they're going to wait and see what happens. And there's going to be a bunch of people who are like, oh, cool, it's cool to go out now. And they're going to be the guinea pigs to see if it's actually good to go.
100%.
Then we'll wait an extra like 3 weeks, because 2 weeks, even though they say that's enough, it's not enough. So let's wait 3 weeks just to be on the safe side. And then we'll see. And if, things are chill by then, yeah, sure, maybe a ball game or something. But if things are up and running by then, but
it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Just to like, this was a very vivacious, constructive, educated chat. Mm-hmm.
But we were wrong.
I know.
We were wrong. We're fucking idiots. We don't know what we're talking about.
How dare we? You remember, I'm going to trash him on this. I don't give a fuck. Do you remember Zach Bronkema from high school?
I don't think so.
Zachariah Bronkema?
Maybe. I don't know. The name sounds sort of familiar.
I screenshotted shit that he said to me on Facebook, but I blocked him. But it was just so funny. Like, he tried to roast me, and then I did like a bulleted roast back to every point that he said, and then he never replied. So I waited like 72 hours and I blocked him.
Nice.
But it was like, it was just, he's like, you failed school, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And it was fun.
You failed school? Where did that come from?
Him. Yeah, that's what he said. And he's like, how's your comedy career going? I'm like, so do I get to decide how my career is? If I go bankrupt, do I get to still be president? Like, that's because he's a Trump supporter. That's what I was saying. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 75% of my sentences end with just a big gasp now. I
just think it's so interesting. Anyone protesting, and my thought is, I feel like I've heard suggestions of this, that event and that any future events, it's very possible they have been started, and this is kind of conspiracy theory, but also who knows, all these events have been started by Russian trolls working against the United States, a la 2016, where they're like getting on Facebook and getting people riled up and like, we're going to have Operation Gridlock, and I'm going to use a Southern accent even though I'm in Michigan.
I've heard that too, and I think what broke today was that the DeVos family has connections to what happened yesterday.
What?
That's what do you mean? That's what I read. I don't know if it's true. Here, let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That sounds crazy. If that's TRUE, true.
I'm typing. If you guys want to follow along at home. Okay, so 3 days ago. No,
it did happen yesterday, right?
Okay, so I typed in DeVos Lansing Gridlock. At the time of recording, it says 6 hours ago. Salon.com. Should we go there? Is that a reputable source?
Salon.com. I mean, I guess. There really were Nazi flags at this rally.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking.
No, I wasn't joking. It up.
I'm looking at it right now. There's a man holding a Trump-Pence Nazi flag. Although, I mean, hey, conspiracy theory, that could be like a plant or something, but why would anyone want to associate themselves? Like, he's standing next to other people that are waving flags that are undoubtedly actual supporters, whether or not he is some kind of plant. Which is,
the funniest, most ironic thing to me is that some people wore masks and some didn't. And you're like, so you're not taking this seriously?
I know.
Like, you are, though. I mean, it's crazy.
Some people stay in their cars, and you're like, well, what? You like, that's so you like you're being so.
I pulled up an article from NBC News. It's called "Lock Her Up: Anti-Whitmer Coronavirus Lockdown Protesters Swarm Michigan Capitol." I'm going to find DeVos. All right. The protest, dubbed Operation Gridlock, was organized by the Michigan Conservative Coalition and the Michigan Freedom Fund, a DeVos family-linked conservative group.
Oh.
Protesters were encouraged to show up and cause traffic jams, honk, and bring signs to display from their cars. Organizers wrote on Facebook, "Do not park and walk. Stay in your vehicles." I am looking at people on the Capitol steps with AR-15s, other assault rifles, and flags, and masks, and, of course, camouflage. So, I mean, who's to say? But that's the DeVos link. So,
I don't even know what to say.
What a happy world!
I love how somehow a stay-at-home order becomes a gun rights situation.
Yeah.
But, again, these are people that are like, conspiracy theory minded. So it's not that.
Oh, they're all flat earthers.
Right. But it's not that this is about staying at home. It's about the government exercising a right.
Yes.
And then that's like the first step in a series of oppressive steps.
I mean, meanwhile.
So they got to go out and kind of, yeah.
It's not it's not about the virus. It's literally about my rights are being infringed upon, even though we had a president who had 2 impeachable offenses against him, and the Republican Senate said, no, it's fine. He can do whatever. So you're okay with corruption on this end, but then when it's infringing on your rights, then it's too much. I can't go to fucking MC Sports or whatever. Shut up.
Yeah.
You can also, like, there was misinformation going around that in Michigan you couldn't buy a flag during this. Not true. It's like on Snopes. It's on Snopes and Politico. Not true. But then you post those things and people are like, oh, well, that's fake news. And you're like, motherfucker. I have no hope in anybody.
Maybe that's the Russian troll stuff. Maybe that 5G stuff is all Russian propaganda that's trying to, because they're already blasting messages at the people that support Trump anyways, because that's how he was elected in the first place. So now they're just doubling down and being like, hey, 5G, hey, flags can't be purchased, hey, go protest, hey, blah, 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 blah. And I wouldn't, I mean, Adam Schiff came out and said that Russia was still trying to do it. I mean, Jesus, back when Robert Mueller was a situation, I think we've all forgotten that was a thing. He was he was testifying and saying that Russians were still interfering in our election processes, and this would definitely be like out of their playbook if they were to do something like this.
So I guess my question though is, what's the end game for Russia?
Destabilization. Yeah. I mean, I guess end game wise, they've always been communists, right?
Now, can they lift Mjolnir or?
Oh my God. I just watched The Death of Stalin on Netflix.
Is that good? Jackie wants to watch it.
You should definitely watch it so we can talk about it, because have you seen In the Loop?
Yeah, long time ago.
I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
I've seen that movie like several times, and I love that movie. And I thought, Armando Iannucci, he's doing The Death of Stalin, great cast. It sounds very interesting. It almost sounds like an experimental movie, because it's like his humor with the destabilization of the government, kind of in a historical context where everything is bloody and sad, because it's Russia.
I'll watch it.
It's a weird movie though, because it's funny, but it's still like set in Russia, So it's not a spoiler to say things happen that you
It's
are
dark.
like, ugh. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, getting back to this I'll watch that for sure. But getting back to this with Russia, yeah, I mean, hopefully they're listening. And
I mean, it doesn't matter to us. It matters to
yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. I guess when you say endgame, it's really interesting you say that, though. I mean, what's the point of like being a global powerhouse? Like, how? I'm missing the point. I think when I was who I am, I'm not trying to intentionally fuck people over just to get more money and power. You know what I mean?
Same.
So to do that on a global scale and to have a vision for, I don't know what their vision for the future is, but if it includes some sort of world domination plans, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like people being destabilized and then them being a more powerful political figure because of that. I don't know how
then they can have leverage.
I guess.
Yeah.
For what? Nuclear weapon? For what? Like, what do you want? And I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing is like, okay, so we got Putin there. Who would be next after him? And
nobody. He's the dictator. He's in the office for the foreseeable future until he dies of an illness.
Yeah,
basically.
so he'll die of COVID-19, and then
in 30 years.
Who takes over? And with Trump, I mean, let's say he does get reelected for the next 4 years. Who's after him? I mean, what
Pence,
Republican?
I guess. I mean, Stephen Miller?
But no one's is like
charismatic.
Evil. He's just evil.
But the thing is, there's so many things he's doing where he would have no knowledge of how to do that because he has no knowledge of what presidents do and what laws exist to do some of these things. So he's just like a talking head that is so easily swayed by, I don't know, Mitch McConnell? Who? Mike Pence? I don't know. Who? Russia? I don't know. But, is he evil? Probably. I mean, they're all absolute scum, to use a word that you're fond of using, and that aptly describes the situation, I would say.
Scum.
I mean, it's really, it's disheartening. It's really disheartening.
It is. But I'm glad that we have this podcast and we've reached 50 episodes. So there's a thing.
50 episodes. Who knew that when we first started our first episode about the rebooting of Star Wars, not only would we live to see the shittiest Star Wars trilogy, who saw that coming, but we also lived to see a pandemic and a pandemic and a pandemic.
It was really only 4 years ago when we started it?
I mean, it was 2015, so I guess technically it was like it was like 4.5 because it was in December of 2014, I guess. When did Star Wars Episode 7 come out? Because it came out before that.
Hold on,
It was in 2015. I think it was December 17th, 2015.
That makes sense. Our first episode was February 25th of 2016.
Okay, so that movie had already come out, and we were talking about it afterwards because it was such a cultural phenomenon at the time that it was still relevant to talk about in February. Honestly, it sounds about right to me. I'm a little surprised. But, I mean, that kind of follows because we had those Oscar episodes right away, too. And it would have been that month. It would have been like March, I guess, for the Oscars.
That's so weird because I feel like we did it before it came out.
I thought so, too. I don't know.
All right. Well, maybe the ones on Anchor are incorrect. Who knows? Who cares? It doesn't
matter. We're just trying to say happy 50th episode to everybody, and we're really happy we could deliver a milestone episode under such wonderful circumstances.
Mm-hmm. I still like your glasses.
Thanks. I was going to use them this summer to go outside. I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for now.
Walter White costume.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but then who's going to see it? Pictures will see it. Mm-hmm. Eyeballs will see pictures of me in my costume. But what I want is eyeballs to see my costume in person because that would mean I'm at a party. So for now, I'll just wonder what I'll use them for. Yeah.
Just keep living. Keep breathing. Keep eating.
Yeah, I mean,
drinking. You never got that other beer.
No, Fuck. Oh, well. I have this really good beer that's... Dude, okay. Let's lament briefly about what we're missing. Although we probably should wrap the episode up, too. But...
I gotta pee real bad, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell this long, drawn-out story. Then, I just want to say, there's a ton of shit in walking distance where I live. And we were looking forward to just exploring and seeing a lot of stuff. But there's this awesome brewery that has this like Japanese beer made of rice. Like it's kind of like a Bud Light, but like a brewery version, but so better. It's really good. And it's only like a mile or two from here. So it's just sad that we can't experience that in person. That's what I want to do. Ride my bikes around, experience breweries that are near me.
Yeah. I
live next to a theater. It's a 20-minute walk. I can't do that anymore.
Oh, I mean, I live 20 minutes away from my comedy club that I worked at regularly.
Yeah.
I haven't been on stage in over a month.
Yeah.
This is the longest I've ever been without going on stage.
Since you were like 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
well,
it's fucking weird. I hate it.
Hang in there. I'll see you for the 100th episode, okay?
Yeah. Well, what are we going to skip 50 episodes?
I hope not.
49.
It'll be, oh my God, the Kerrit, episode 100 dash, it's actually 51.
So funny.
We'll do dashes, not colons. Hyphens,
right.
Not dashes. Okay.
Semicolons, not periods.
Exactly. Well, this has been the Kerrit Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Subscribe, comment.
Smash that like.
Smash that, ring that bell.
Actually, I don't give a shit what you do. I'm like doing this for Alex Plotkowski and Zach Nestor, and that's it. And Wes Argestein, if he ever gets the end of these things.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he will eventually. Good night, everybody.
Good
Peace
night.
and love.
Bye.
Bye.